Okay, the pros and cons of driving a bus. Now, I've asked a few people, um, and they can't come up with many pros, so this is my list of pros. They had a list of cons as far as long as my arm, but most of them I thought were irrelevant. Right, so pros and cons. So some of these things could be on the pros list, and some of them could be on the cons list. So let's go pros. If you're just starting or thinking about starting to become a bus driver, one of the pros is that you get paid to train. It's not a great wage, but it ties you over until you actually get onto, until you pass your test and you're out on the road. So paid training is a good pro, I believe. You get paid weekly. Again, it's not the best job in the world, best paid job in the world. But if you run out of money Thursday, you've only got to wait till a minute past midnight and you get paid again. So, weekly pay, I've never been paid weekly. I was a cab driver, I got paid daily, so it was different. So, I've actually got money in the bank for a change, so it's not too bad. Rosters. Now, this could be a con, if you want to put it down that way, or it could be a pro. I mean, I'm not on a roster. I'm a spare, so I basically fill in and cover everyone's crap that they don't want. But when you're on a roster, you'll be able to look on your roster and see the entire year, every day that you have off, all your holidays are already in there for you. So you know exactly what you can do every day for the next 365 days. I think that's a great thing. You can plan your life around it. If your other half has a part-time job, which she can move or he can move days around, they can fit in and around your schedule, which I think is a great thing. Something as a cab driver that we all dreamed of is paid holiday and sick pay. When you're a cab driver or when you're self-employed, you spend most of your time. If you're going on holiday on the 1st, it means the week before you've got to earn 2 weeks' money, because you've got to cover the week that you're missing. Because cab drivers don't save up; they earn what they earn and they spend what they spend. So it's difficult. It is difficult to put money away, especially these days. But I go on holiday. They've given me holiday again next week, because I think they owed me holiday from last year. So they give me that this beginning of the year, so the beginning of the month, and now they're giving me holiday at the end of the month. So maybe they want to. I'll stick a few cheeky rest days in there, bump it up a bit. That'll be great. And sick pay, yeah, holiday, sick pay. You get sick, I don't know if it's statutory. I've never been sick, so statutory sick pay. I don't know if it's statutory or it actually paid you, or what, I'm not sure. But you get paid to be at home when you're ill, which is again another great thing. I have to say, being an old trade unionist that I am, it being in a unionised workplace, it's got to be more beneficial to be in a union or have a union represent you than not. There you go. There's my politics coming out again. Right, free travel. I get free bus pass. I get a staff pass. But my partner, your partner, as long as they live in the same house, so your missus, your husband, or your daughter, I suppose. If you don't have a significant other, or your son, whoever, as long as they're old enough not to be using the zip cards that we have in London, they get free travel. They get they get an Oyster card, a companion card, I think they call it. So another great thing to have when you're driving a bus in London. What else we get a uniform, isn't it sexy? Um, so yeah, so that's all I sort of came up with for pros. I mean, there'll be more. You can let me know. Let me know in the comments if you think you can think of a pro being a bus driver. And yeah, there's another one. I know that I signed on this morning at 6:45, so 6:45. I know today I'm finished work at 4:05. Barring calamities and traffic, I'll be off and I'll be on my way home at 10 past. Done. Brilliant. You know, I can't fault that. That's brilliant. You know, that goes in hand with the roster. Knowing you can plan your whole life in minute detail, to when you're going home, what time you're coming off, you know, what days you're going to work, what days you're not going to work. I think it's a great thing. Righty ho. Right. Cons. Now everyone said school kids, but this week I only get them in the morning. I don't get many in the afternoon because I'm finishing at 4, so I've missed the madness. But they've been fine this week. Don't tell them. They've been really good. Even the ones who don't pay, I've said I can't pay. You know, I've lost my oyster. My oyster hasn't turned up. You know, but they'll be telling me that in 6 months' time. So cons, shifts. You know, not everyone knows when they're going to go to work, but you don't necessarily like the work that you do. You know, I've swapped this week with a lady who hates working days, so she works from middles to lates, because we don't do nights in Bromley. And she does, and I've swapped with her, so I'm doing 7:15 till 4, and she's doing whatever I was doing, some crap that no one else wanted. But I'll pass her. Yesterday I saw her, I was on my way back to Bromley to hand over the bus, and she was coming the other way, so she probably only just started work, and that was about 3:15, 4:45. So, you know, if you want to work late, you can. If they can accommodate you, they will. So that's another pro. Another pro. We found another one. So if you prefer to work nights, they will try and accommodate you. They do struggle to find people who want to get up in the middle of the night to start work at 4 o'clock. But if you do, they will give you that time. Drivers. These last 3 days. What day are we now? No, last 2 days. It's Tuesday today. Is it Tuesday? No idea. I just turn up, and then when the app pings, go to work, you lazy so and so. Traffic. School's back. I expected it to be bad, but oh my god, the invisible bus is back. No one sees me. You know, only 12 tons in weight, full of people. This bus is 17 tons in weight. If it's maximum capacity, 17 tons with fuel and people. 13 meters long, 14, nearly 15 feet tall, and then completely invisible to many people who just don't look. Oh my god, the near misses I've had today, and I've been stationary, and people have been zooming around me, whipping around me, because they're too selfish to wait. And that is the problem with the world today. I'm going to rant. People are ignorant, and they are rude, and they think they're more important than everyone else. And to be honest, no one's more important than I am, because I'm a bus and I'm carrying lots of people. So leave me alone, let me out of bus stops, and let me travel down the road unencumbered by idiots. Run over. What was next? Bit of a work thing. No one ever phones you up on the radio and says, come on, you've got to hurry up, because they don't do that. When you're late, in your head, the pressure is in your head that says you've got to catch up. And that's the worst thing you can do, because when you catch up, when you're putting pressure on yourself, accidents happen. And it is the worst thing you can possibly do. And they tell you in training, they'll slow the people behind you, and they'll slow the people in front of you to make that gap fit. Because in London, everything's controlled by the god that is iBus. Every bus has got a transponder on it, telly, whatever you call it, and they know exactly where you are in conjunction with the guy in front and the guy behind. So if I'm running 6 minutes late, that means I am 18 minutes behind the guy in front. So what they will do, they will slow him down and they will slow the guy behind me down, which then everyone sees on the headway. I'm going to do a video on headway because most people go, huh, headway? Don't understand. So it's not difficult. It's very rudimentary. It's a little arrow and you have to follow it. Anyway, I'll do a video on that one day. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so if I'm 18 minutes late, they'll slow the guy behind me, they'll slow the guy in front of me to make we have we call it a 12-minute road. So there's a bus every 12 minutes. Is it 12 or 10? I don't care. I don't know. 5 bars, I think that equals 12 minutes. Something like that. So the guy leaves me at the Pru, I've got 12 minutes on the clock before I leave. Yeah, so it's about 12 minutes. I'm waffling again. Okay, so why am I talking about this? Pressure. Yeah, I got back to it. Yeah, so it's self-inflicted pressure. You know, no one says to you, "You've got to hurry up. You've got to," because everyone, what they'll do is they'll slow you down. And if you're too quick, and the guy in front, you're catching the guy in front, they'll slow you down. So ultimately, let them worry about it. It is a problem. It is your problem, but really, let them. They get paid the big bucks to be controllers, and let them sort you out. If you're too early, they'll tell you. They'll notice it. It'll probably flash up in a big flashy thing on the screen and go, right, I'm 111, and my running number's 111. 111. Get a call on the radio. They'll send me a text message. Which sometimes you don't hear, so they'll call you on the radio. 111, can you slow down and can you do 4 minutes at the next bus stop? Controllers, you know I can't do 4 minutes at bus stops, you know I can only do 2. So please, don't tell me to do 4 because you know I can't. And I think that's about it. The pay's not great, but you know, it's, what do I get? 440 quid a week as a flat rate. That's in my hand. That goes in my bank. So it's not brilliant money. But bearing in mind, I'm only new, and some of the old boys are on £700 a week because their rate is so high. I can't get to their rate because they've stopped doing it now. Some of the old boys are on £18, £20 an hour. You know, so I'll try and get rid of those to cut the costs so they can pay for, you know, what they pay him. They can pay 1.5 drivers worth. You know, that's just how companies run these days. Get rid of the old boys and bring in new blood for cheap. There's another rant, another trade union thing. Oh, don't set me off. So that is probably about it. What have we done? 15, 14, 13 and a half minutes of blurb on pros and cons. There will be others, and you will tell me. You know, tell me in the comments because I love to know what you love and what you hate about the job. It's quite a friendly job. You know, people do, apart from the odd one or two, there are, you know, even different companies. There's a go-ahead guy just pulled in. If he's in the road 178, I'll wave at him. He'll wave back. You know, it's quite a friendly thing, and it's quite nice. So you know, it's all right. You know, it's quite, when you start driving a bus, it's quite daunting because it is something that you've never done before. You know, if you're driving around in a Mini Cooper all day long, you know, driving a Enviro 400 NMC 13 meters long, 15 feet tall, it's going to be scary. But you know, it is what it is. You get used to it. They're not teaching you to drive because you know how to drive. They're just upskilling you. Again, there's a pro. You've got a license for you for life. As long as you pass your CPC every 5 years, driver qualification as it is now, every 5 years. You don't ever have to do the CPC. CPC ends up having you do it's part of the mod 4. You'd have to do a reverse and you have to do a driving test. If I let my qualification lapse, if I stop driving a bus tomorrow, in 5 years' time, my card runs out, I'd have to do it all again. So as long as you do your qualifications, keep your qualifications up, you can drive a bus forever. As long as you pass the medicals, everything's cool. See? Another tangent. See what you make me do? Right. Code word. The code word is face covering. Just so I know that you've watched to the end. I'll see you on the next one. You take care. Ta-da. No. Go. Press the button.
If you do like my videos, please subscribe. Click the bell icon so every time I do a video, you get a notification. Share it with your mates. Press the like. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think I should be doing next. And I'll see you on the next one. You take care.